We'll need help to spread the word about the online forum and change the approach to covering crime. That's why we turn to law enforcement, crime prevention organizations, schools, nonprofits, and prosecutors who work with the families of violent crime victims. We presented More Than a Number to them in early July. We asked for their ideas about how we've reported crime in the past and how to humanize our approach. Frederick Price talked with two leaders about crime coverage in our community.
Deborah Jackson works with Resilient Middle Georgia,
training adults to help them recognize trauma in children.
A challenge she faced as a child.
If we would have had this early on, a lot of issues that I deal with and other people deal with as adults, we wouldn't have these issues.
And those problems, she believes, range from violence to not having the resources to deal with everyday life.
Trauma is a major issue. It's very expensive to be traumatized and not have help.
But when violent crimes do happen, oftentimes those details aren't discovered until later. As journalists, we can only report what we know, and without information, that can impact how viewers look at our news coverage.
Frank Dixon works with Cure Violence Macon, a group focusing on crime prevention. They meet here in Pleasant Hill. He and Deborah both feel people are simply desensitized to the violent crimes on the news.
If we're going to give all the bad news, we got to have offset it with some good news or help with the healing process.
A lot of the media coverage, Frank believes, is negative. But this could change, he adds, by simply going beyond the numbers.
Last year we had 70 homicides. But what's the status of those homicides? How are the families faring? How is the community healing?
Which could make a difference in how this community views the stories we share.
You want to be honest on what's going on, but you don't want to make people think that this is the end.
As for Deborah, she says adding a face with a name would grab the attention more than a number ever could.
It could really help to know this was a grandmother or this was somebody's grandfather or son, and he's been taken too soon.
And maybe those who are committing the crimes, she tells me, might just understand how much harm they're doing to families and the community. Frederick Price, 13 WMAZ News.
The feedback we received about More Than the Number from our community partners was positive, and many agreed to help us get it off the ground. But we don't just need their help, we need yours as well. We talked to Warren Selby, board chair for Macon Regional Crime Stoppers. He says the best way to both prevent and solve crime is to get people engaged.
It doesn't matter whether you live in South, East, North, or West Macon or Central Georgia. Throughout all Central Georgia, you want to live, work, and play in a safe community. And so that's why it's important to have citizens be engaged and be vigilant and be alert of what happens in your neighborhood, and certainly hold people accountable for their actions.
To get the word out, we're starting with business cards like these. We're giving a stack to law enforcement organizations, nonprofits, and other Central Georgia leaders. When a crime happens, they'll hand these cards out to people in crisis, something physical to hold on to. They can scan the QR code right away or when they're ready to reach out. The link leads to our online form and other resources.